Hello, once again, everybody. It's your boy, Mr. David YT. And today I am doing episode 2 of Game Theories. Now, for those of you who were here in 2019, I did a game theory on Steve from Minecraft. And honestly, it's been a hot minute since I've done one of these. So, tonight, I'm not really going to be covering one particular game, but rather a character in the world he lives in, who's in many games. Okay, today's video is going to be about Mario and the world he lives in. Because you see, over the years, there have been a lot of questions and mysteries about who Mario is and what kind of crazy world he lives in. Now, where do I begin? Yes, Princess Peach Toadstool. The most iconic princess in the Mario world. She has been kidnapped more times than I can count. And the one who's usually responsible for her kidnappings is none other than Satan's favorite turtle, Bowser. The most evil-looking dragon/turtle monster you'll ever see. Bowser has always been Mario's rival, as well as arch enemy. So, my first theory is going to be called, Does Peach Secretly Love Bowser? This was one of the theories that came to mind when I was making this video. Does Peach and Bowser secretly have a relationship? The reason why I believe this should be a theory is because when you think about it, Peach has been kidnapped by Bowser thousands of times. How do you get kidnapped so many times and yet not have a tighter defense system? How many times does it take for Peach to install a tight security system? Think about it. She is the princess and leader of the Mushroom Kingdom, yet her defense system, the guards and everything that she needs to protect her is weak. It's weak. She has a weak defense system, so she's always getting kidnapped. And from what we saw in Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, apparently she doesn't travel with any guards. She allowed herself to be unprotected and kidnapped by the X-Nauts. So, the question is Peach doing this on purpose to get kidnapped by Bowser? One can only wonder. Because, when you think about it, it actually almost makes sense. Because if you've been kidnapped 1,000 times, don't you think it's about time you built up your defense system? Why must Mario continue to travel 1,000 miles and risk his life to save the same girl over and over and over again since the 90s? 90s? Maybe earlier than that. In real time. Mario's always saving this girl. And it's like, no matter how many times he saves her, she gets kidnapped anyway. So my theory is that Peach and Bowser are secretly in a relationship, and that during the time that Mario spends getting all the stars and things to beat up Bowser once again, Peach and Bowser are secretly making out and doing boyfriend-girlfriend stuff. It kind of makes sense. Mario has all this time to save Peach. All this time to gather what he needs. And while he's out there risking his life, Bowser and Peach are probably getting on the good foot and doing the bad thing. Okay, I mean, it would explain why Bowser's defenses are terrible. You know, Bowser sets up all these traps and things, yet Mario is still able to get past him. I mean, he hardly prepares for Mario's arrival. So, again, what does Peach and Bowser do while Mario is out there? Now, I can't say that this is a 50% possibility that this theory is true. But if you guys think that this is true, let me know in the comments. Alright, so that was the first theory. The next theory is, where is Bowser getting the money needed for all these troops and machineries and castles? Because honestly, there's no way that Bowser is doing all this by himself. There must be money involved to build these castles, to have all these troops that support him and follow him and all that. So the question is, how is all this possible in the Mushroom Kingdom? Well, my theory is Bowser sends out troops who disguise themselves as regular people to gain enough money to bring back to Bowser so that he has enough to construct his castles and pay his minions. Okay, now this one could actually come with a second theory. Another theory I have about this is, what if Bowser somehow is brainwashing these people into following him? All the Goombas, the Koopa Troopas, and every other nostalgic enemy and current enemies that we've seen who serve Bowser are either being paid or they're brainwashed. I'm not exactly sure. Bowser doesn't have access to magic, as far as I know, except for, again, going back to Paper Mario, or at least Paper Mario 64 to be exact. But the only other being that has access to magic would be Kamek. Kamek is a magic Koopa who has the ability to use all kinds of magic. And so with that said, there is a slight possibility that maybe Bowser's minions are under a spell or something. But there's really no evidence to prove this. My only guess is maybe his troops do get paid by the hour, I guess. And my only other guess for Bowser getting the money is that maybe he, robs a bank every now and then, which is a, classic stereotypical villain cliche. Now this brings us to theory number 3. Is Bowser influenced by Kamek? And well, believe it or not, this theory is not really a theory. It turns out to be true. It says here that Kamek is a magic Koopa who acts like a maternal figure to Bowser, and who took care of baby Bowser during the events of Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, and Yoshi's Island DS. So this is not really a theory, but it's actually a fact that yes, Kamek is responsible for Bowser's turn into darkness. Which makes me wonder, is Bowser really in charge, or is Kamek in charge? That is another mystery we may never know. And now here's our fourth and final theory. Technically 3, since the last one was more of a fact. Is Mario a drug addict? Now, I know a lot of you are looking at me like, what? What did he say? Well, the truth is, mushrooms, certain types of mushrooms that is, are used as drugs. Yes, in real life, some people get high off of mushrooms. which raises the possibility that the world that Mario lives in and has been living in for all these years is actually one big hallucination. In fact, I have some information here that backs up this theory. As you can see on the screen here, it says that some kinds of mushroom contain psilocybin and psilocin. Try saying that 5 times fast. Substances that can cause hallucinations. Used in large doses, these mushrooms have effects similar to the drug LSD. Now, how are they used? Hallucinogenic mushrooms might be either fresh or dried. People take them as drugs by eating them, mixing them with food to mask the bitter taste, or brewing them in a tea for drinking. Pause for a moment. Tea? Tea? Who drinks tea with mushrooms in it? Only Mario would, I guess. Now here's a little look as to what it does. It says here that the effects of mushrooms generally begin after about 30 to 45 minutes. They can last as long as 6 hours. Early effects typically include nausea and excessive yawning. After these initial effects, the trip begins. And considering the fact that Mario eats these mushrooms all the time, I would not be surprised if he was extending the duration of its effects. I mean, think about it. Going back to theory 1, Mario is always saving the same princess, the same person over and over again for several years, who gets kidnapped by the same enemy for several years, over and over again. He literally is stuck in an endless loop, risking his life for a princess who's just going to get kidnapped again. And plus, have you seen the world he lives in? Talking animals, dinosaurs, everything has eyes and talks. I mean, it's kind of hard not to believe that he's in a acid trip. So, what do you guys think? Is Mario really the happy-go-lucky plumber who just lives in a wacky world? Or is this all just one big acid trip? Let me know in the comments. So, with that said, this concludes my game theories. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe for more. Hit the notification button, and I'll see you all next time. Shalom.